Nutrition, fasting and expanded awareness. The journey of becoming a superhuman, living in harmony with nature, always begins from allowing the body and mind to be in an optimal chemical and energetic balance. Being a superhuman is not about gaining something extra to what is already had. It is more about allowing the body and mind to function fully within the already had natural perimeter that mostly is limited through our highly unhealthy habits, which we accept as historically normal. It is considered to be normal and socially friendly to ingest a variety of toxins and stimulants, which over a longer period of time cause the most common diseases, such as diabetes, high blood pressure and cancers. Such negative high toxins diets have also a tremendous impact on one's mental health. They numb the sensation of life and create all kinds of emotional, out-of-balance experiences. In fact, the whole of Western society idea of socializing is built around drinking alcohol in bars and eating dead food in our restaurants. It is so heavily ingrained in our culture that most people do not realize how they lower their life quality and expectancy by partaking in those barbaric rituals. For decades, the TV has promoted drinking alcohol as trendy. But there is nothing trendy in numbing one's senses with long-term health consequences. Intoxication of our bodies with processed dead foods, alcohol, stimulants, and chemicals has become a part of our lives to such a degree that the Western medical practice revolves not around healing the body, but rather deals with negative consequences of our high toxins intake. More and more people become aware that going to the doctor is not about healing. Why is it so? When it comes to certain diseases, the medical science, or the doctor, do not look at the origin of what creates the illness. It mostly is a consequence of the lifestyle, and hence the diet. Most doctors do not even ask their patients about their diets. Instead, medication is prescribed to manage the consequence of the poor diet. Additionally, one is supposed to be on that medication for the rest of the life. In other words, there is no healing intended, but only medicinal management of the negative lifestyle. This is where Western science has gone wrong, because of the big pharmaceutical financial interests in sales, rather than the idea of healing. This is when our science stopped being science. It is quite criminal, but it will not change until people choose to participate in that outdated negative system. The benefits of meditation and one's spiritual balance cannot be achieved separately from having a healthy body. And you will not be healthy participating in recreational intoxication. When our bodies are not optimized to function the way they are designed, the spiritual and emotional selves struggle. This is why nutrition is an essential starting point for any journey of expanded awareness. Before we look at the idea of optimal nutrition for the human body, we will explore the idea of water fasting. Traditionally, fasting has been present in many spiritual and religious traditions. It has been understood as cleansing and healing. Dry fasting with no water can be damaging to the kidneys and is not recommended. When the body is deprived of food, it automatically taps into the fat reserves, also releasing and processing the toxins accumulated from the processed foods. Before any prolonged fasting, especially for those on any medication or with medical conditions, a specialist should be consulted. Inappropriate way of fasting can be deadly. Also, breaking the fast with processed food can be counterproductive. For a reasonably healthy person, there is a basic daily fast that consists of not eating in between the meals for at least 8 hours. It can also be beneficial not to eat anything several hours before going to bed. It is important to break the fast with raw, fresh and organic unprocessed, unheated food. For example, with freshly squeezed oranges or a freshly homemade fruit smoothie. Nowadays, more people choose to experience fasting since it has been proven to be a powerful, if not miraculous healing modality. Of course, fasting, as well as many other healing modalities, can still be denounced today by the mainstream as dangerous, simply because it does not fit into the multi-billion market of selling drugs, which simply do not make anyone become healthier, while the body is continuously bombarded with the dead food and toxins. So, the most up-to-date medical research show that people are ill from dietary excess. It includes the amount of consumed food. So, the quantity, as well as the quality, are crucial. Processed food is often added with sugars, fats and salt, as well as it is treated with heat and heavily infused with fertilizers, which cause the body to receive high amounts of toxins and low nutritional value food. The study shows that fasting gives similar benefits in terms of healthy chemistry as exercise. Also, animal foods, especially processed ones, have a much higher concentration of toxins than plant-based food. However, both animal and plant food, which are processed, contain equally high levels of toxins. In other words, being on a processed vegan diet is as toxic as eating processed meat. There is a different effect on the body from ingesting complex carbohydrates, and a completely different effect when they are processed into simple sugars. The conclusion: the human body is a biological antenna for the spiritual mental self. It operates on high levels of consciousness when it is kept toxins, stimulants and dead food free. Focusing on not eating meat can be misleading as healthy. Processed plant food can be as damaging to the body as eating meat. The body functions optimally when it is fed with as fresh, organic and raw food as possible. Regular fasting can keep the body healthy, as well as help the natural healing process when the body is in a chemical imbalance. Most people eat too much and too often and too low-quality foods. It is a choice to be healthy, but the choice needs to come from an understanding how the body works. It is not about some dogmatic choices based on faith. It is about real science, not being tempered with by the research money coming from big corporations, which seek self-interests, rather than the well-being of people.